Hi, Study Sex fans. This is Omega. Today's question is going to be more of a heavy topic because sexuality isn't always light and fun and blowjobs and orgasms. We wish it could be, but it's not always that way. So today's question is actually going to be dealing with molestation and sexual assault. So I do want to put a trigger warning out for people who are a little bit like, oh, I'm not ready to deal with this subject. So the question asked was, I was molested repeatedly as a child. Sometimes when I am in the middle of fabulous sex, a flashback will occur and ruin everything. A, is this normal? And B, how do I prevent this? So molestation can have very negative consequences. In my line of work, I find it hard pressed to find an individual who has not been assaulted in some manner, whether it be sexual or physical or emotional. And so I try to treat each person that I come in contact with as they have some type of trauma. So if someone has been sexually assaulted and they are having fantastic sex with a partner, I'm so happy. I'm so happy because you have worked through some of the problems that you have experienced in your life. You've worked through some of the assault. And so, yes, it is normal that flashbacks are occurring during your fantastic sex. Here's where I want to tweak you. It doesn't have to ruin everything. In fact, if you approach it as it's going to ruin everything, it is going to be harder to work through the issues that are coming up so that you have fantastic sex down the road. So when you experience a flashback, the thing that I would state would be most important is to stop the behavior and address it with your partner. Most partners do not want to cause pain, unconsensual pain, to their significant other. Most people want sexual encounters to be pleasurable and happy and like awesome moments. So telling your partner that you're experiencing a flashback, or even just saying, stop, I can't, I have to take a break. Because break times are totally okay during playtime. If you want to disclose this information, that's totally up to you. The person that you're with may want to know what's going on. It's important for you to take personal space and take care of yourself first before you start to take care of other people. So decide whether or not you want to talk about it. If you do talk about it, it's probably going to be easier for the flashbacks to happen less over time. The negative thing is that when you start to address it, you usually get flooded with, that's all I want to talk about. That's all that's coming into my mind every time. And so it sucks. And it's difficult. But realize that it's going to be a short chapter of your life in which you feel like it's all you want to talk about. And so to help give some conceptualization to this is approach it almost like you've just discovered someone that you're smitten with. When people usually discover something new, or they're like, oh, I really like this person, that's all they talk about. That's all they talk about. All. Everything is about this individual. And so eventually, through talking, we get to a point where we can start to implement our everyday life into the relationship that we have with that person. And we stop talking about it so much. And so flashbacks and discussing trauma actually helps you move through the trauma so that you can start to have fantastic sex lives with less flashbacks. I can't say that it's never going to happen again based on the fact that you're going to talk about it, but it's going to happen less over time. If it happens, if you experience a flashback and you're like, okay, I'm just going to shut it down. I'm not going to think about it. I'm going to push it out of my head and I'm just going to go through with the motions. You're actually going to do more harm than if you address it. Quick fixes, in this case, don't work. because eventually it's going to bubble to the top and it's going to be very messy when that happens. So I would pick up anything by Stacey Hines. Healing Sex is my favorite. They have a video that takes you through exercises on how to work through triggers, and how to deal with sexual assault and how to be sexual after sexual assault. Because our culture really is like, oh, sexual assault is bad, which is awesome that we're finally addressing it, but we haven't moved to the next space of people are sexual creatures, and most of them are going to want to be sexual after a sexual assault at some point. So how do we help those people have good sex? Thanks for watching. Thanks for asking the question. Most of all, realize that this is a process. There isn't a quick fix for it.